Okay, you meet this man and you go on a couple of dates and he's not too responsive. What you do, for instance, you send him a message and he's going to take a couple of days to get back to you. He is not initiating contact when you're on a date. He's not really responsive or too present with you. What you do, is this something that you should step into and try to educate him? Try to tell him that his behavior is frustrating you or making you angry or triggered? Or should you just step back and give him space to be his own self and tolerate whatever is going on? So there are different strategies to engage into, right? If you try to educate him, most of the times that's going to take a little bit of effort and time, and it's going to potentially drain your energy and frustrate you even more. Why? Because you are not in a committed relationship with him, and trying to educate him in the early stages of dating is really, really hard work. So the warning signals that you are getting right now are precisely warning signals. This is why you go on dates with people, to see if there is compatibility or not. So those signs are signs of incompatibility. If you try to dance the salsa with somebody who never danced the salsa before, or who is really, really bad at it, it's going to be a pain. And you can try to spend the next few months educating that person to be able to dance with you, or you can find a good dancer. And this is what I encourage you to do. Basically, it doesn't mean that you have to cut completely contact with that person, but realize that he's not really skilled in the arts of dating and connecting with you and holding beautiful space with you. Okay, you are a powerful woman, you are a powerful being, and beautiful, and you are ready to open your heart. And when somebody's not responsive or not being able to play on that frequency, then it's potentially draining, and you don't want to stay too much in that situation. So take a step back, simply enjoy the connections with other men, and eventually you can keep on trying a few times. Usually what I would recommend is go on like 2 or 3 dates and experiment, play with it, see what happens. But if at the end of the date you feel really annoyed, frustrated, and basically he's not showing up for you the way you would like, then take a step back and find somebody else to play with, or other people to play with. Something else that can be happening is that maybe it's possible that your trigger threshold is really low. It means that you are very, very sensitive because of maybe past wounding or past emotions or past situations. So the question that you can ask yourself is, if other women were exposed to that specific man, how would they be responding? For instance, if you talk about your situation with that guy, how are women around you responding? How are other guys responding to you? Are they describing his behavior as something that is really outrageous and absolutely unacceptable? Or are they like, this is how men are, so kind of apologetic about him? So what you can try to do is this: you self-reflect and you go like, am I overreacting right now? Because this is a possibility. So sometimes when we are overreacting, what we're going to do is we are going to sabotage potential situations and possibilities in which we could and we should, or we could engage a little bit deeper, but basically we sabotage the possibility of this being a success because we are extremely sensitive to certain aspects or certain things, right? For instance, if I engage and I go to a beautiful social event, and over there I notice that I don't like the decoration and I don't like one person who is present in the field, I'm not just going to leave the party. I'm going to stay present and realize that there is a certain degree of discomfort happening in the space. It is the same with dating. You can experience some discomfort with one person. It doesn't mean that this is a deal breaker. Those are the micro triggers that I was talking about earlier, right? So when there is a micro trigger in the field, it doesn't mean that you have to disappear out of the field, disappear out of the dating world, and disappear out of this person's life. Sometimes men are going to be immature in some aspects of their lives, but then they're going to be really good at other things. For instance, this man might have a big open heart and be really a caring person who might be supportive in other situations. He doesn't simply have the skill, or he's playing a game, or God knows what. Simply these dating powers and dating skills and dating virtues are not integrated for everybody. And if you self-reflect, there might be things in you that you notice that you go like, I'm not perfect either. That man is human, and I'm okay to overlook and simply keep on being in connection with that person, even if I cannot right now modify or inspire him to behave in a different way. When you try to educate somebody, if you decide to go that route, there are a few things that you can do. And one of them is to highlight the positives. It means that when he does something that really touches you, that is really beautiful, for instance, he might send you just a heart or a message or something that really touches you, offer gratitude, offer reflection back to him to tell him that you have been appreciating receiving that from him. So appreciation of the good things is really a good way to educate somebody when this comes into the field. Okay, I hope this gives you an overview, a good vision about what's possible within that when you get triggered by somebody. Remember that this is an art form. An art form means that it's not a linear thing. You have to try different strategies depending on the situation, and depending on your character, depending on how you communicate, depending on how you feel as well. Try different things and see what feels right to you. Okay? And one more thing, a good way to know if this date is working for you is to make an assessment after the date on really asking yourself, did I have a good time or not? And that's it. It's very simple. Between 0 and 10, how great was the evening? It can be a 9, and then some aspects were not in alignment. It doesn't mean that you have to zoom on that specific aspect, but ask yourself, make a little assessment here on checking with you on how amazing this date was with that person. Try it out and let me see how it goes.